Off the Cuff is supported by Patreon. Subscribe today and get exclusive member content, in-episode credit, and fun off-the-cuff merchandise. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Off the Cuff with yours truly, Craig Mitchell. Well, today I've gone and doed it. Yeah, today I'm going to show you how to make a healthy version of a snack food that I have been obsessed with for nearly 60 years. Yeah, I know, that's a long time. Like I said, it's going to be healthy. And the snack food we're talking about is potato chips. Oh my goodness. You know that saying, you can't only eat just one? Well, that doesn't apply to me. When I hear that, I think, one bag, one case? Yeah, I'm a potato chip nut. Wait, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how can you make potato chips healthy? Well, here's the thing. Potatoes, in and of themselves, are very healthy. They're loaded with nutrients, especially potassium, and they're a good part of a balanced diet. The one thing about them that I avoid sometimes is the carbs. Now, a russet potato has about 40 grams of carbs. Now, I'm on a modified low-carb diet. That means that I probably take in maximum 60 grams of carbs per day, and I'm happy with that. So 40 grams fits into that quite nicely. Now, just so you know, like if you're keto, that means you're taking 20 grams of carbs or less per day. I'm not doing that. I generally have a potato nearly every day, and my body tolerates it really nice. It doesn't mess up my blood sugar, and I'm real happy about that. Now I know your next question. How do you make potato chips healthy? Because they're deep fried and all that grease and fat. Well, we're going to air fry these chips, and you know what? They're going to come out perfect. They're not going to be like those baked chips you see in the supermarket. No, they're going to be almost exactly like the potato chips you get when you open up your favorite bag. And don't worry if you don't have an air fryer. I'm going to show you instructions how to make these chips in your oven. And they come out real good in there too. Also, I'm going to make a low-carb version of onion dip because, come on, what's better than a potato chip with onion dip? Are you ready? I am. Oh, but first, we have a special surprise. Yeah, follow me. We have a special treat today. We have the official winner of the Off the Cuff Superfan Contest. That's right. And as the winner, they get to be on an episode of Off the Cuff. And they're here today. Yep, she was chosen by our judges as the official Off the Cuff Healthy Cooking with Craig Mitchell Superfan. So with no further ado, let's bring her in. Please welcome our superfan, Cynthia Fern. Come on in, Cynthia. Hi there. I'm sorry I didn't get that. I didn't hear.
Cynthia.
Okay, you don't have to be shy. You can really just scream it out if you have to.
Cynthia!
Okay, yeah, okay, you screamed it out. As a matter of fact, I don't have hearing in this ear right now.
You called me Cynthia. My name is Cynthiana.
Cynthia. I apologize, Cynthia Anna. How does it feel to be named the Off-the-Cuff Superfan?
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just think, you were chosen from thousands of submissions.
It was 7.
Ooh, 7,000.
No, just 7. Your producer told me it was 7.
Oh, still, you beat the odds.
Well, 5 were disqualified because they were family members or they worked on the show.
And my producer told you that.
Yeah. He's a nice man. He cries a lot.
Yeah, and he also talks too much. So anyway, Cynthiana, our superfan, please tell us more about you. How old are you?
I'm 15, and I'm in 10th grade at Wilbur Creek High School.
Oh, very good, very good. And I bet you want to be a chef when you grow up.
No. No, not really. I want to be a poet. I'm a poet. That's how I wanted to be on the show. I wrote a poem.
Oh, a poem. Oh, will you read it for us?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, come on, read it for us.
No.
Just a little bit, just read it.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Oh, you can read it. Right? Cynthia?
Cynthiana!
Okay, I'm sorry. Cynthiana, please, read the poem.
I promise you won't get mad.
Why would I be mad? Pretty please, with sugar on top.
You don't use sugar.
Okay, Splenda, please.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good.
Steady.
Yeah. Just relax. The winning poem about off the cuff.
Off the Cuff by Cynthiana Fern. Anna. I love to watch Off the Cuff. Chef Craig is always cooking really good stuff. He takes away the calories and the carbs while oftentimes he makes up amusing barbs. He wears a chef coat but has no hat, but even with low carb, he's still pretty fat. He's always fun and makes good eats, but it's clear when he's off the show, he cheats.
Okay,
I'm almost done.
Oh, but there's more.
Before I say so long, Chef Craig reminds me of a song.
Oh, a song.
It's by Sir Mix-a-Lot. He's got a big butt, I cannot lie. What's the matter with that guy?
Oh, okay,
when he
here are
makes
the ingredients.
And then what else will he do
Really?
but
You can
eat
do
them?
the
What's
whole
he
song?
gonna do but...
Time for the ingredients. First off, for the actual air-fried potato chips. Real easy. 1 large russet potato. 2 tablespoons olive or avocado oil. And salt to taste. And now for the low-carb onion dip. 1 small yellow onion, diced. 1 1/4 cup sour cream. 2 ounces cream cheese, room temperature. 2 tablespoons parsley. 1 tablespoon chives. 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon each of pink Himalayan salt and black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of butter to saute the onions in. Now let's make those chips. This is a large russet potato. One of these is going to make quite a lot of chips. Now, some people prefer not to peel it, but I do. See? It's that easy. If you have 2 potatoes. Okay, so now to cut this into chips. Now you can use a really sharp knife, that's fine. Just be careful, of course, and you want to slice them into thin chips, maybe 1/8 of an inch. Almost transparent, but not quite. That would be what you're looking for. As for me, well, I'm going to take the easy way out. I'm going to use a mandolin. This is my mandolin. As you can see, it has a leg, it stands up, and I have it set to the appropriate setting to make my chips. Nice and thin, but not too thin. Now, before you use a mandolin, be careful, it's super sharp. Also, very important, you want to make sure that it's in tune. Aha, this one's perfect. The first thing I did is I cut the ends off the potato because they don't make really good chips. Put them aside, and we're going to do it this way here. Now we run it through the mandolin. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything. It really doesn't. But as you can see, it is. There you go. That's about the size and thickness you want. Yep. If you don't have a mandolin, it comes in really handy, not just for making potato chips, but you can also use it for vegetables. You can use it for a whole bunch of stuff, and it really makes cutting this up easy. There is a guard that comes with it that I'm not using that I probably should, but I'm very careful when I get down to the nub, which is where we are now. And there we go. Look at all these chips. Yeah. Now we're going to put it into this bowl. Now we're going to fill this bowl with water. And we're going to let it soak in here for about 10 to 15 minutes. And we can move it around here like this. And what we're going to do is, you see how it's clouding up already? Yeah, it's removing some of the starch from here, and that's good because they do hamper making the chips. And we're going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, as I said. And then we'll come back and we're going to rinse and put more water in it. The 10 minutes isn't up yet, but I've already put fresh, clear water in this bowl. And while we're waiting, continue to massage and separate and stir these chips, it will get more of that cloudy starch off. You can see how cloudy it's getting, which is a good thing. As Martha Stewart would say, it's a good thing. Okay, so the 10 minutes is up. I've already rinsed these in cold water. Now into the clear water. All right. Now what you're looking for here is this water to stay clear. It may cloud up again because there might be some residue of the starch. If that happens, that's fine. Just rinse them again and put them in cold water again. Like I said, you want to make sure that this water stays clear. The 10 minutes is up and this water stayed clear. Yep, I did a really good job at soaking it the first time and getting the starch out, and then when I rinsed it, I got the rest off. This is perfect. Now it's time to move to the next step. We're going to take these well-soaked and drained chips. We're going to put them in boiling water for 2 minutes. Yeah, they're going to simmer because they're going to lower the base temperature when it gets in the water. They'll simmer for 2 minutes and you take them right out. This is already boiling, and in the potatoes go. As you can see, the boiling kind of stops. That's right, the boiling stops because it kind of takes it to temperature. And for the next 2 minutes, we're just going to stir. Just make sure they don't stick together. And this is to me, I've made several attempts at doing air-fried potato chips before, and they've always come out a little lacking. This seems to be the magic step. All right, the minute's up. Let's get these drained. These chips are very hot, and they need to cool off and also dry off a little bit. So I laid out 2 paper towels. Oh, these are hot. Also, if you have gloves, it helps. I should have thought ahead. And yeah, we're going to lay these on the paper towels, and we're going to let them cool. It takes about 15, maybe 20 minutes to cool. The 20 minutes is up. These are nice and cool and dry. Now it's time to air fry them. Air fryer number 1. Now you want to put these chips on the air fryer, in the air fryer basket. You don't want to really overlap them too much. You want to keep them as separate as possible. And if they overlap a little bit, it's okay. Here is our second air fryer. This has a little bit more surface space. This should fit all the rest pretty well. And it's circular too. So let's start by just putting them in best we can. Overlap them just a little bit. Like I said, it's not going to make much of a difference because they are going to blow around. We have our chips now loaded into the air fryer baskets. This is olive oil, and we're going to spray it. Not a lot, maybe a tablespoon, a half tablespoon each, just to put a little bit of oil. Still, they're not being drenched, so that's good. Now it's time to go into the air fryer. Yep, I own 3 air fryers. Now I know I haven't used them a lot on Taste on TV yet, but there was a time not too long ago where I was known as Mr. Air Fryer. Yeah, these 2 are standard compartment air fryers. This is an oven. Now to make all these chips, it would take multiple times in each one. I'm going to use these 2 at the same time so you get the same chips, nice, hot, crispy, at the same time. Okay, let's put in the air fryer trays. This was a little tricky. There's 1, and there's 2. Now, you may be asking about salt. Yeah, if you salt them beforehand, they tend to get a little bit too salty, so I wait until they're done. Now, these are going to cook for about 15 minutes total, maybe a little bit more. We're going to watch, and we're going to shake it every 5 or 6 minutes. Now, we're going to cook it at 375 degrees. All right. These look amazing. They just need like 3 minutes more. Hey, in the meantime, it's time for Food Facts. Everybody loves chips. No, that's John and Ponch from the 1970s TV show Chips. That's Chip and Dale. That's okay. Let me rephrase this. Everybody loves potato chips. Oh, yeah. I am guilty as charged. I am a lifelong fan. The earliest mention of a recipe that closely resembles what we call potato chips today came in 1817 in the book The Cook's Oracle by William Kitchener. The recipe actually called for sliced potatoes to be deep fried in lard or drippings. And you know what? Today, lard is kind of frowned upon in some circles, but I know a lot of cooks and chefs who still swear by it. In 1825, an English book of French cooking called them pommes de terre frites. Yep. Now, the recipe called for these sliced potatoes to be deep fried in clarified butter or goose drippings. Yeah, then drained and then lightly salted. But I gotta tell you, if your goose is dripping, you better get him to the shop. Bad news, Mac. There's drippings everywhere. Your goose is cooked. But he's still pretty good on the drums. As you can imagine, it wasn't long after that this recipe came across the pond to the United States. In 1824, Mary Randolph, in her book, The Virginia Housewife, and in 1832, N.K.M. Lee's book, The Cook's Own Book, actually referred to Kitchener's recipe. Yep. Now the race to the contemporary potato chip was on. Then in 1853, in Saratoga Springs, New York, Chef George Crumb stumbled upon what would become the recipe for contemporary potato chips after dealing with a tricky customer. This is a really cool story. Here's how the story goes. A railroad tycoon by the name of Cornelius Vanderbilt. Kind of looks like Steven Spielberg, doesn't he? Yeah. Well, anyway, Corny was eating at Moon's Lake House, and he was not happy with his fried potatoes. He thought they were a little too thick, so he sent them back several times. Now, if you've eaten at a restaurant, you know that sending food back multiple times is not exactly the way to get on the chef's good side. Chef Crumb, well, he took exception to that, so he grabbed 2 potatoes, sliced them real thin, deep fried them, salted them, and sent them back out to Vandy. And Vandy loved them. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Spielberg. I mean Vandy. So like I said, Vandy, or Corny, whatever you want to call him, loved them. So did other customers who tried them. And Chef Crumb, he knew a sensation when he saw one. So he started to sell them, at first in big paper cones, later in boxes. And he named them Saratoga chips. Yep. And that name actually stuck until the mid-20th century. Yeah. It sounds like it'd be a great movie. If he was Steven Spielberg, maybe he would make the movie. But wait! There's another side to this story. It also involves Chef Crumb and his sister, Catherine Weeks. Yeah. So this story goes that Ms. Weeks was in the kitchen cutting potatoes, and a sliver of potato went into the hot oil and fried. She took it out, put it on the counter. Chef Crumb came along, tasted it, loved it, and potato chips, or Saratoga chips, were born. The thing is, we're not really sure which versions of these stories are true. I mean, they could both be a little bit true and kind of melded together, but it's kind of a mystery, actually. One hint is in Miss Weeks' obituary, this story is listed, so that kind of adds some credence. So where do we go from here? When it comes to stuff like this, I think of the movie The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Yeah, they have a saying in that movie. When the legend becomes fact, print the legend. For decades and around the 1920s, potato chips were getting popular, but they were mainly in the north of the United States, until we meet traveling salesperson Herman Lay. Does that name sound familiar? Yeah. He was doing his sales in the South, and he was selling potato chips out of the trunk of his car, and they became increasingly popular till he started his own company. Yeah, you've heard of it. The Lay's Potato Chips Company. Yep, he did. And Lay's became the first nationally sold potato chip company. Okay, now it's time for potato chip trivia. Did you know that potato chips have never been patented? Nope. You know what? That gives me an idea. Off-the-cuff potato chips. That has a nice ring to it. During World War II, all production of potato chips was halted. The reason why? The United States government didn't think potato chips was an essential food. They've never looked in my cupboard. A man by the name of Joe Spud Murphy is responsible for inventing flavored potato chips. On a related note, in 1958, barbecue potato chips became the first flavored potato chip to be released. Soon after, it was sour cream and onion. I'm sure this will shock no one, but Americans are by far the leading consumer of potato chips in the world. And on a related note, the Lay's Potato Chip Factory in Georgia actually uses 1 million pounds of potatoes a day to make their chips. Whether it's a party, whether you're watching a football game, or whether you're just hanging out, potato chips are really a part of our lives. They are. And that's Food Facts. The chips are ready and waiting. Num num. Now it's time for our dip. First, we caramelize the onions. All right, this is now coming up to heat. When we pour in the onions, we should get a nice sizzle. It's a fair sizzle, but it'll get better. Now, as far as the dip goes, I like the onions to be in smaller pieces so they're mixed in throughout the dip. Some people like to caramelize like onion strings and lay them over the top. Not me. Nope. I want them integrated because I want that great onion taste and flavor to be throughout the dip. These are caramelizing nice. You can see how brown they're turning. I'm turning down the heat because I don't want them to burn. But this is just about perfect right now. Okay. We are done with the onions. Beautiful. Okay, we're in final assembly stage here. First, we put in our 1.5 cups of sour cream, our room temperature cream cheese, no problem. And let's mix this all together. Now let's put in our other ingredients. We have the 2 tablespoons of parsley and 1 tablespoon of chives. Now here is the ½ teaspoon of garlic powder and the 1/4 teaspoon each of pink Himalayan salt and black pepper. Alrighty, put in your caramelized onions and mix in. Oh, there's a big piece there. I forgot I put it in there. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to taste this. I'm going to resist. Here is your finished low-carb onion dip. Voila! Healthy air-fried potato chips. Oh, they look amazing. And low-carb onion dip. This is really easy. I mean, look at all the chips that just one potato makes. Look at that. That's more than a healthy serving for me. And if it satisfies me, I imagine it would satisfy you. Like I said, it's not a low-carb snack, but if you trade off your carbs like I do, if you keep it under 60 a day, this is a lot of fun. Plus, the dip is not going to add to the carbs. Okay, so I'm going to try one. First, alone. I did salt these after they were done, as I said. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Here we go. Delicious. I'm sorry, these are better. Way better. Like 1,000 times better than any baked chip you can buy. These are amazing. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, if you're going to make them in the oven, do everything I did exactly the same way. Lay them on a cookie sheet, okay, for 10 to 20 minutes, okay? At 10 minutes, turn them. Do them again. Watch till they get this color brown, and you have oven-baked, crispy potato chips. That's how you do it. Okay? Now I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna dip. Oh man. Oh yeah. I am in absolute heaven with this recipe. You've got to try it. Believe me, you're going to be like, I can't believe I can make something this good in my own house and have it be good for me. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Remember, be well, eat good, and I'll see you next time. On the next Off the Cuff, it's time for some guilt-free comfort food. A low-carb version of mac and cheese using cauliflower. Finally find out who eats first. Okay then, who eats first? Yes, the player that eats first. Who? An appearance from a little-known Batman villain. It's me, the Cookery King. It's mac and cheese, reimagined. So good. You see me flush? I just flushed. Join me for Off the Cuff Healthy Cooking with Craig Mitchell. Alternate Sundays at 7:30 p.m. right here on Strong